Hey, I'm Adam Greenberg, reporter with SC Magazine, here with Jay Radcliffe, senior security researcher with Rapid7. Jay's been doing a lot of research with medical devices. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I work a lot in the medical device field. I'm a patient, so I'm a type 1 diabetic, so I have access to a lot of these devices that connect to the human body and help us kind of manage these illnesses. So with that access, I get to take a look at the devices and see how they communicate. For example, I just got a new glucose meter that has Bluetooth enabled, so it can talk to my iPhone. So I'm kind of looking at the communication between those two devices and making sure that it's secure for everybody to use.
So why is this really important? What could somebody do if they were to take advantage of a vulnerability in a medical device?
Well, right now there's not a lot that can be done with that, but what I see happening in the future is the ability to connect these devices to the cloud and having doctors be able to adjust patients' medication right through like an iPad app or an iPhone app. And when that comes in the future, those exploitations and those vulnerabilities will be even more important, because then you might have a malicious attacker adjust somebody's medication. Or inadvertently, with somebody's iPhone, might get like a malware infection that could affect the performance of their medical device. So it's not so much as we're trying to stop this before somebody gets badly injured by it.
In the past, they've brought up hacking people's pacemakers and stuff. Have you ever seen anything like that across your research?
We have never seen anything in the wild, thankfully, with that type of research. A lot of the work that we do is in a laboratory or in a research facility that's very tightly controlled. Thankfully, we've never seen anything like that in the wild or any type of devices being maliciously targeted in the general public.
Is it challenging to do this type of research? Do you have to get to get your hands on these devices and disclosing these vulnerabilities, it's got to be pretty severe. If it got out there, how does that play into this?
Well, there's a couple levels of complication. Where everybody can go out and get an Android phone or a consumer device, not everybody can buy a medical device. For example, I'm working on buying some medical devices through like a secondary market, and they're still thousands of dollars, and you still need an FDA license to be able to purchase those. So that complicates just getting access to the device. But after that, once you have access to the device, doing that type of research and responsibly and coordinatedly disclosing that information to those vendors, it's unclear where you're supposed to go, whether you're supposed to go to the FDA or the Department of Homeland Security or directly to the manufacturer. So even when you do find things, it's very hard to figure out what's the right path to take.
So looking forward into the future, you told us a little bit about what you might expect to see, but where is it really going to fall on to make sure that the proper security is implemented? And you mentioned the manufacturers. Really, is that where it's going to have to be?
I think there's definitely a balanced approach. I think that the manufacturers have a big responsibility, but also the organization that's implementing that. So if it's a hospital or a healthcare center or even a patient, right? You buy a cell phone, but if you set your password to ABC123, you're ultimately responsible for that part of the security. Security is almost a community effort in that sense, where the manufacturer has to do their part, the vendor has to do their part, and the patient has to do their part. And so it's important for all of us to be on the same page and to be doing the right thing.
So people who have these medical devices today, should they be worried, or are they pretty much okay for now?
They're definitely okay for now. And you have to remember that these types of devices keep people alive. And that is by far the most important thing. When parents ask me and email me and say, is it safe for my child to go on an insulin pump? I say absolutely. We still do things that involve some risk. We drive cars, we go out when it's raining or there could be lightning. These things are exceptionally rare. We take that risk because we know ultimately we still have to, we have to do things. So these devices are exceptionally safe, and we're working very hard to make sure they stay safe. We want to get to these things before anybody gets hurt, and right now that's exactly what we're doing.